Hello, I hope you're doing well. This is my last week in Berlin, which has come sooner than I initially anticipated, but I basically only have this studio for June, so I had to look for a place for July, and when I started looking, I just realised my heart wasn't in it. I know that I want to do some travelling around Germany, especially because I have a Deutschland ticket, so I can use all the trains apart from the fast regional trains for free, and I really want to make the most of that. And it doesn't make sense for me to be paying rent for a place that I'm not even going to be in. So I'm flying home to Scotland in 5 days, and for the rest of my time here, I really just want to tick off my Berlin bucket list. There's a bunch of things that I still want to do and see while I'm here, and I thought we could do them together because one of the things that I want to do is a big yarn crawl. I also want to go to Potsdam. I want to eat at a few nice restaurants. I've not been eating out in Berlin much. And I also just want to enjoy the summer, enjoy the sun, do some reading and work on my knitting as well. I'm currently working on a pair of socks. These are gonna be for my dad. I picked up the yarn quite recently. This is Drops Fiesta, which is a DK weight sock yarn. I'm working this up on 4mm needles. So as you can see, I've done the cuff and I'm just starting working on the heel flap. The pattern I'm following is literally just the first pattern that I could find that was free and DK weight and used 4mm needles. So I found this pattern on Ravelry. It is the Quick and Easy Ribbed Socks by Ursi. So far, so good. It kind of looks like it's just a stockinette pattern, but it's actually a really wide rib, so there is a purl stitch in there, which adds a little bit of interest. I need to get these done before I go home, so within the next 5 days, but as it's a DK weight, it's coming up fairly quickly. For the books that I'm reading, I always have 3 books on the go. I always have an audiobook, a physical book, and a book on my Kindle. I finished my Kindle book last night. It was called Sparkling Cyanide by Agatha Christie. I am a big Agatha Christie fan. I really struggle to finish reading books, to be honest. If a book doesn't like grip me and make me want to keep picking it up, I just won't at all. The current physical book that I have is The Master and Margarita, and I think I have been reading that for like 4 or 5 months. I've gotten myself into a real reading slump with it because it is a good book. I do want to finish it. I don't want to DNF it, but it doesn't compel me enough for me to actually ever pick it up, which is why I'm still only like 100 pages in. But I find Agatha Christie books really good at getting me out of a reading slump because they are really fast-paced. I read almost the entire book in one sitting. I think I was like 20% of the way through when I picked it up yesterday, and then I stayed up till 2 in the morning finishing it. I'm really picky with my murder mysteries because I don't like them being very dark or very tense. And Agatha Christie is this perfect combination of like a really good twist and it also being quite lighthearted. There's also hundreds of them. I think I've probably read like at least 15 or 20 Agatha Christie books, and I'll be honest, all I want to do is just buy another one of them. But instead, I'm gonna try and use a bit of my reading motivation to get me through a bit of Master and Margarita. My current audiobook is Sapiens. It is brilliant. This is a book that I've put off reading for I don't know how long. 5 years. It's by Yuval Noah Harari. I am 4 hours in. It's a 15-hour book, and it just sort of reads like a very long, very good documentary about anthropology, and I'm learning a lot from it. I'm really enjoying it. So right now I'm getting ready to head out. I want to go and see the DDR museum today, and I also want to walk to at least one yarn shop that is kind of around that area. I'm back home now. I'm on my balcony because the sun is setting. I had a great time exploring those yarn shops. Knit Knit is quite a small shop with not that much yarn to choose from. I did see one that I really love the look of. It was this really interesting vegan silk made from eucalyptus, but they only had a few colours available and I didn't particularly fancy any of them, so I left it. Then I had a lot more luck in the second yarn shop I went to, which is Loops. That store is much bigger, there's a lot more selection. They've both got loads of Lana Grossa. Lana Grossa seems to be a very dominant brand here, but I did make a little purchase in Loops. I got 3 bowls of this Rico Design Fashion Cotton Metalize DK. This is 53% cotton, 35% acrylic and 12% metallic yarn, and this is in the colour 21. They had loads of shades of this yarn, but I don't know if you can see, but it's metallic, and I've been really drawn to knitwear designers creations where they've used metallic yarn or used sequins, but I always thought that they were off limits for me because I knew I wouldn't be able to cope with how they feel. But this yarn is very soft. There's no scratchiness at all from the metallic part of it, and I think it's a really nice shade of grey. They had quite a few different neutral shades here, but this is a really nice warm grey. It's almost beige, and I'm trying to be very firm with myself in only buying colours of yarn that I know I would be attracted to if I saw it in its finished garment form. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I saw an item of clothing in this colour, I would immediately be very interested in it, and so hopefully that means that whatever I make with this will be more wearable. I got enough to make a summer top. I don't yet have a specific pattern in mind for this, but I always have a million top patterns on my radar, so I'm sure this will get put to good use. I also paid a visit to DM, which is a German drugstore. Now, in my opinion, it's better than the UK drugstores. I'm not sure if it's actually better or if it's just more exciting because it's new to me, but I've always held off buying everything that I wanted to in that shop because it didn't seem necessary. However, now that I'm leaving, I let myself go ham and buy anything that I wanted. So I want to show you everything that I bought. I got some vitamins because they are so much cheaper in Germany than they are in the UK. I got this magnesium that seems to be biphasal, so it's even better for your sleep. I got some omega-3s. I don't take omega-3s and I know that I should. I don't really know what I'm doing with my vitamins, my supplements, to be honest. The only ones that I take consistently are magnesium for my sleep, iron for my energy levels, and vitamin C for my immune system. Otherwise, it's all a bit of a mystery to me, but I think omega-3s are meant to be really good for your brain health, right? And I also got some ashwagandha. This is the sort of stuff that Holland & Barrett will be trying to sell for like 15 or 18 pounds, but I think this was 5, and I think this helps with anxiety and like making you feel very calm. I think this is a bit more of a woohoo choice, and then omega-3 and magnesium are like, well, proven. But we'll see how I get on with them. I picked up a Labello lip balm. These are the best lip balms ever. This one is SPF 15. I currently have an SPF 51 that I'm just about to run out of, and it's good, but it is a little bit sun creamy. Like, it does leave a bit of a film. So I'm hoping the lower SPF won't, and this one also is like claiming to be extremely hydrating. It's so important for me to have an SPF lip balm with me in the summer because my lips always get dry and I always want to put something on, but I've noticed that if I put like a lip oil on or like a lip gloss, they actually help burn my lips when the sun's out. Next I picked this up. This is a bit of a wild card. This is by a brand that does solid shampoo bars, and it is a conditioner concentrate. So apparently this is equivalent to a 300 milliliter bottle of conditioner. It's like this extremely, extremely thick paste. It smells really nice actually. And I thought this would be really good for traveling because I will happily use like a 2-in-1 shampoo and body wash. I will wash my hair with soap. I will use the cheapest shampoo I can find and I'm fine with it. But cheap conditioner really does nothing on my hair. And I've also found that like while traveling through parts of Asia, I've struggled to even find conditioner at all. So I thought this would be a great thing to bring with me on my travels because my hair without conditioner is a very sorry sight. And then lastly, I got a few little makeup bits. One I actually did need. This is a brown mascara by Catrice. I bought this mascara like 2 months ago because I needed a new mascara. If you're looking for a waterproof mascara, don't buy this. This is just straight up not waterproof. It transfers and smudges to my under eyes all the time, every time I wear it, and it's just not fit for purpose. Most mascaras do smudge on me, so I always buy a waterproof one, but this one isn't even waterproof. So I got something to replace it. This one says it's waterproof. I'm really hoping it actually is. I think it was only like €4, so it's not the biggest loss if it isn't. But also I really rarely see a brown waterproof mascara. Normally it's one or the other. So fingers crossed this works. And last thing I bought is this NYX glittery eyeliner. This is probably the most superfluous purchase that I made. I don't need this. This is a glittery eyeliner. It's in the shade Graphite or something, but I swatched it in the store and it's not coming off at all, which is a great sign. And it's more of a cool toned brown than it is a black, and it's got some nice sparkle to it, so I thought this would be cute. My current eyeliner is also NYX and it's really good, although it says that it's brown and it's such a dark brown that it looks black. And I think with my colouring, like lighter colours of eyeliner and mascara do flatter me better than black. So fingers crossed for these. I'll try these both out tomorrow and let you know if they're awful so you can avoid them. And I think for the rest of the night I'm just gonna knit and watch some YouTube. Big news on the sock front. One finished sock. I made this in a size large, which I think is my dad's foot size, but it's bigger than mine, so I'll show you what it looks like on. But as you can see, it is a bit oversized. So I did a lot of work on this last night. I think when I started this video, I had just finished the heel flap here. Then it took me a day or two to do like the turn heel here, and then the instep where you do the decreases to shape the sock. And then last night about 9 p.m, it was at around here, and I stayed up till 1 in the morning doing the rest of the sock. The thickness of the yarn makes this definitely more of a chunky bed sock slash boot sock, but hopefully my dad will still find plenty of wear in it. I really like how the ribbing has turned out, and I think it means that it's also gonna be a better fit because it's more stretchy. This morning I started on the second one, so I've got the ribbing done and now I'm moving on to the bit that's above the ankle. This one took up almost an entire bowl of yarn. This is how much I've got left of the first bowl, and I just started straight away on the second bowl because I don't see any point in there being like a bit where I have to join the bowls of yarn, since that's going to take up less than one bowl. And I was speaking to a knitting friend semi-recently, and I told her that I would just throw away this amount of yarn at the end of a bowl of yarn, and she looked at me like I just admitted to doing something illegal. But so let me know if this is like a crime to get rid of this, but truly I have no purpose for this. It served its purpose in knitting up the sock. I think I'm going to save a little bit of this and then use it as ribbon to tie up the wrapping paper. But yeah, other than that, this is, I'm not going to hold on to this. Is that bad? No, I can do what I want with it. It's my yarn. I'm really gonna attempt to get a lot of this sock done because I basically need it done. I've got today, tomorrow, and the next day, and then it needs to be finished. So I don't have too many plans today. I'm gonna put in a real shift on this. I'm really tired today. Yesterday was a very exercise heavy day. I walked like 20,000 steps. I went to the gym and I did a yoga class, so I'm gonna try and take it a little bit slower today. I do want to finish off my yarn crawl, that's on the agenda. And I also found on TikTok there's a street in Neukölln that's just full of curated vintage clothing shops, and I really want to go there and suss it out. It's probably going to be very expensive, but I want to see it. I also really want to get a head start on cleaning this flat, so I don't have to do it all in one go. I think maybe I'll just do the bathroom today. And now that I said all that, it actually doesn't sound like a restful day at all, but it's T-3 days till my flight home, so I do want to cram everything I want to do in. Oh, also makeup review update before I forget. This mascara is amazing. I only wore it yesterday, but I had a really good experience with it. To give it its full government name, this is the Catrice Glam and Dull Volume Brown Mascara Waterproof. This is the brush. It's like a plastic bristled brush. It's like a proper brown color, like it's not a brown black, and it barely smudged at all. Like I think the least amount of smudging that I could realistically ask from for a mascara. So it is properly waterproof, but it also removed really easily with my oil cleanser. It is definitely more like lengthening and curling than it is volumizing. I would prefer it to be slightly more volumizing, but this is the best mascara that I've used in a very long time. I think the best mascara I used before this was like the Maybelline Sky High Waterproof, but that only comes in black, and that's also like 3 times the price of this. The eyeliner is also good. The nib is really fine, so it's really easy to do a wing, but it is more grey than it is brown. I was lying when I said it looked like a brown. And also the sparkle basically doesn't show up at all, so it's just a really good waterproof-ish eyeliner. I wish I'd got it in brown now that I know that the sparkle doesn't show. This is the NYX Epic Ink Liner Glitz, which isn't very glitzy at all, but it is otherwise a good eyeliner. This is the other eyeliner that I use to do my wings. This is the NYX Epic Wear Waterproof. This one is in a brown colour. It got a much thicker tip, so it is a bit harder to do a wing, but this is very waterproof. So I think actually the waterproof brown mascara and the waterproof brown eyeliner is going to be my combination of choice. And then I'm probably going to use this other grey eyeliner more when I need to do a very quick winged eye, because it is a lot faster to use than this one. I gotta really take my time with this. Okay, beauty blogger segment over. Let's go to the yarn shop. such a gorgeous evening. It's like 25 degrees. I've got my beer and I want to give you some thoughts from my yarn crawl before I forget them, just in case you're like visiting Berlin and you want to visit a yarn shop. So I didn't make it around all of the yarn shops that I wanted to visit. There was one that I didn't get round to, La Lane, which I think is in Schoenberg, and it closes at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, so I didn't stand a chance, unfortunately. But I did go to Woolen today and also Yarn Over Berlin. Yarn Over Berlin's actually really close to Knit Knit. They're both also close to Museum Island in that area, but when I went to Knit Knit it was a bank holiday, so Yarn Over Berlin was closed. I didn't make any purchases today. I didn't see anything that really sparked my interest. I think because it's summer and it's so hot that I can't even think about wool at the moment. I think if I visited the same shops again in the winter, I'd be looking for very different things, but right now I'm really into like my cottons and my linens and my silks and like my bamboos and those sorts of fibres. So I really liked the Woolen store. It's pretty big, it's got a large selection. There's also lots of extra fun stuff in there, like they have printed out petite knit patterns, they have some petite knit like stitch markers and some different branded like knitting accessories. Notions, is that what you guys call them? There was loads to see in there, and I think it looked like they had a workshop or something going on in the back. They had a loads of room there. Maybe they do like knitting club or something. And Woolen is also in Wedding. Yarn Over Berlin is a much smaller store. They have loads of Isea, loads of Malabrigo. They have some like, what's that brand? La Bien-Aimée, but not the largest variety of brands. It was really nice to see some Malabrigo yarn in person because everyone tells me how soft it is, and it's very soft. I was quite tempted to get some, but again, it's wool and I'm not knitting with much wool at the moment. I say while knitting with wool, but for myself, wool's not really on the cards this summer. I would say if you're visiting Berlin and want to go to one yarn store, my favourite probably was Loops, and a close second favourite was Woolen. There's also a really nice Drops, like exclusively Drops yarn store near Trep Tower Park, which I would recommend going to if you want to see Drops yarn in person and feel Drops yarn and see it like knitted up in swatches and stuff. Also, if you're on a budget or like are in Berlin and I don't know, maybe you've had your needles confiscated in an airport or something, the Drop store sells Drops needles that you can get for pretty cheap. I'm really glad that I went to all the stores though. They're all very different from each other. They all have a different vibe and they all stock very different brands of yarn. But I will say, actually none of the yarn shops in Berlin can hold a candle to that one yarn shop I went to in Poznan called Verstriga. That is still like up here, and these are all, you know, nice, but that yarn store in Poznan, oh my god. Actually, if you know of any amazing yarn shops just in like random little towns in Europe, or in any city in Europe really, any yarn shop that is like above and beyond the rest of them, please let me know and maybe I'll end up extending this yarn crawl further. Yeah, I had a great time today and I'm also pretty glad that I didn't buy anything. I was worried about how much money I would be spending in these yarn shops, and I have proved myself to be very restrained. today's my last day in Berlin. My flight's tomorrow. I actually went and got a tattoo this morning, which is kind of a last minute thing. Not the actual like idea of getting the tattoo. I've had this idea for a few months, but like finding the right artist and actually booking in, I think I sorted it out like 2 or 3 days ago, but really happy with how this has turned out. The artist did it in a grey ink, so it's gonna fade quite a lot as it heals, and I'm really happy with how it works with my other tattoos on this arm. I've been at a bit of a crossroads with my tattoos because I've kind of fallen out of love with the ones that I got when I was a teenager. Not that I hate them or anything, I'm just really ambivalent towards them, and that's kind of affected my confidence with the tattoo decisions that I make now, but I think this was a good decision. I really like how it like flows with the lines of my body. So that took up all of this morning, and the rest of today I need to spend packing, cleaning, and then I'm gonna see my friends this evening and then I'm off. So I'll wrap up this vlog here. My socks are done. Very happy to have finished these. Here they are. I finished the second one last night. I've managed to get that second sock done proper rapid. That was like a 2 or 3 day turnaround, and they've just blocked and dried in the sun today. Here they are being modelled. I'm gonna take off all my posters off the wall and use one of them to wrap them up and give it to my dad as soon as I get home. The pattern did have a few little errors here and there. I think they're mentioned in the Ravelry notes, but there's stuff like for the heel flap, it says like knit one then slip one, but if you're knitting a size large you actually need to slip one and then knit one. Then I think it mentions you need to decrease by 1 stitch just before you knit the toes, but then gives instructions to decrease by 2 stitches, so then you need to ignore that. Like, I wouldn't recommend the pattern if it's your first ever pair of socks, but if you kind of already know what you're doing and you just need like vague instructions and stitch counts, it's good enough. I'm not sure if you can really see the very wide ribbing, to be honest. It's basically could just be a stockinette sock and knit. No, oh no, you can see it there. I didn't do the best job of picking up my stitches around the heel flap. You can see there's like some semi-big holes there. But overall, pretty happy with how these have turned out. Potentially the most unseasonal knit to be doing in July while it's 30 degrees outside. And now I'm just gonna get on with some cleaning and some packing. I hope you enjoyed watching me wrap up the end of a very short era of my Berlin life. I'm not feeling very emotional about it. Honestly, my main thought is that I'm really desperate to be by the sea. It's been so hot and I'm just like craving a beach. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!